From Apple Valley News Now, First Alert Weather with Chief Meteorologist Josh Colbreth.
Good Tuesday morning. Happy Election Day. We're tracking another wind advisory and high wind warning. It's not another, it's the same one that was in place as yesterday, but it is still in place until 7 for this morning. The high wind warning in place for the Kittitas Valley and Yakima Valley. The wind advisory in place for the lower Columbia Basin and Blue Foothills. This runs until 7 this morning. And yes, the advisories and the warnings technically still in place, but these winds not nearly as strong as what we were seeing just last night, especially during the evening. But for right now, winds still gusting between 15 to 30 miles per hour. The fastest wind gusts, no surprise here, still in the Kittitas Valley. And we're also still tracking a few snow showers left over in the Blue Mountains and up in the Cascades and elevations above 2,500 to 3,000 feet. There still is a winter weather advisory in place for the Cascades above 4,000 feet until 10 this morning, and for the Blues above 4,500 feet until 4 p.m. this afternoon. So for today, temperatures for this morning in the 30s and 40s. Factor in some of the wind gusts. It's going to feel even colder out there. So for today, a few showers left over mostly this morning. Much drier for the rest of this week, but then this weekend it's looking wet again. I'll tell you how much rain and snow we're expecting from that storm system coming up on Good Morning Northwest, which starts right now.
Straight ahead on Good Morning Northwest, we've got election coverage all day today, and in this hour we're looking at the 4 initiatives that will affect people all across Washington state. Monique Ledesma with that report. And still ahead, experts calling this presidential election one of the closest races ever, with control of the House and Senate on the line. Through the details coming up. Good Morning Northwest starts right now.
This is Apple Valley News Now. Good Morning Northwest, on your side.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us for Good Morning Northwest. I'm Jessica Jalal. It is Tuesday, November 5th. It's officially Election Day, so we're going to start off with some election coverage. Vote yes, vote no, but in some cases, voting no can also mean yes. In this year's general election, voters across Washington state were left to vote on 4 different initiatives. Apple Valley News Now's Monique Ledesma reports what yes or no really means when it comes to voting on them.
Let's Go Washington has brought forward 7 different initiatives this year, 3 of which the state legislature approved without appearing on the ballot, leaving the 4 other initiatives to appear on the ballot for voter approval or rejection. One of the 4 is Initiative I-2117. Spokeswoman Holly Balch says this initiative is about saving people money, and part of that is by removing the Climate Commitment Act. Balch says this is how voting yes on I-2117 would help.
Essentially, the are just passing their costs down to drivers and making them cover the cost of the carbon credits. So as soon as those carbon credits go away, we're confident that the prices will also decrease, because that's what we've seen any other time carbon credits have been instituted across the nation.
But Ben Franklin Transit says voting yes could cut into some of their services. One aspect of the CCA is that it provides supplemental funding for transit agencies, which in turn allows transit agencies to offer special programs. BFT's Chief Planning and Development Officer Kevin Sliger says BFT gets about $3.5 million a year in support grants and about $1.9 million a year in special needs funding. If that funding were to go away, Sliger says those costs could trickle down to fair pricing or even routes.
We're getting prepared to potentially have to reduce services in some areas, either on our bus routes or our Connect service. Really, we're trying to figure out what are the impacts going to be if it is approved.
Voting yes on this means that you want the CCA to go away, where voting no means you want the CCA to stay. Another measure is I-2109, Repeal Capital Gains Tax Initiative. Right now, the state of Washington will tax you 7% if you decide to sell your assets if they are valued over $250,000. If you vote yes, it means you don't want to be taxed on those assets. But if you vote no, it means you want the tax to stay so it continues to flow into the Education Legacy Trust account. Initiative 2124 is the initiative opt-out of long-term service insurance program. For this initiative, if you vote yes, you want everyone to be able to choose if they want, while carrying repairs or not to be deducted from their paycheck. As of 2023, the tax rate was 58 cents per $100 of earnings. If you vote no, that means you want walk hairs to stay as is. Initiative 2066, the natural gas policy measure, is the initiative deemed for the people. If you vote yes, it means you want to allow residential homes and small businesses to keep the natural gas services if they choose to. If you vote no, it means you want the state and local governments to restrict the use of natural gases in buildings. Reporting in Kennewick, Monique Ledesma, Apple Valley News Now.
Thank you, Monique. And coming up in our next half hour, Monique reminds us of some of the propositions and bonds that people are voting on. Now, Washington State has officially reached the 5 million registered voter milestone. The Office of the Secretary of State says more than 10,000 voters registered last Monday, and that was the deadline for registering or updating voter registration online and via mail. It set a state record for online voter registrations in a single day. Eligible voters can still register to vote or update their registration in person at voting centers until 8 p.m. today. And ahead of potential civil unrest due to today's presidential election, the National Guard is on standby as a precaution in several states, including here in Washington and Oregon, where hundreds of ballots were damaged or destroyed after at least 3 ballot drop boxes were recently set on fire. Governor Inslee did not disclose how many troops would be activated today, but said they will be available to support law enforcement from today through Thursday. In Oregon, Governor Tina Kotek said in a statement Friday that the National Guard is standing ready as political leaders call for peaceful protests. Ben Franklin Transit will offer free rides on its fixed route bus and dial-a-ride services today. The goal is to make it easier for people to vote. The fare-free services are available all day, and while voting is encouraged, it's not required to use the free rides. BFT says dial-a-ride customers should schedule their trips as they normally would. And Apple Valley News Now is on your side because we're your #1 source for Your Voice, Your Vote 2024 coverage. ABC News will take over at 4 p.m. today with national coverage and will provide local updates from just before 6 p.m. until around 11:30 p.m. And we'll have a full 30 minutes worth of local coverage from 8 to 8:30 and 11 to 11:30, all live. And of course, for continuous updates, head to our website or download our Apple Valley News Now app. And coming up next on Good Morning Northwest, experts are calling this presidential election one of the closest races ever, with control of the House and Senate being on the line, and we have the latest details coming up. But first, our Chief Meteorologist Josh Colbreth will have your weather forecast. Keep it here. We'll be right back.
For over 30 years, Denver Mattress has been crafting factory direct mattresses with innovative design and unrivaled quality, improving the sleeping lives of millions of people one night at a time. And during the pre-Black Friday sale, the more you buy, the more you save. Save $100 on every $1,000 you spend. Check out the Summit Firm, only $349.99. And save $50 on our Buena Vista lineup, or get 60 months no interest and free shipping. Denver Mattress, the easiest way to get the right mattress.
Bathfitter does showers? That's right. We offer a wide selection of beautiful and functional showers in all shapes and sizes. We can even convert your bath into a shower. How about that? With our seamless one-piece walls and hundreds of design options, you'll get a beautiful new shower to fit your needs, guaranteed for life. Bathfitter's been around for 40 years, and we've been experts at showers for just as long. Get yours today. Bathfitter, it just fits. Go to bathfitter.com to book your free consultation.
Liberty Lawn and Saw Shop, your destination for outdoor power equipment. We offer a wide range of products from leading brands such as Exmark, Husqvarna, Echo, and Steel. Make your yard stand out with our range of professional-grade landscaping tools and equipment. We also provide a variety of services, including free pickup and delivery on deluxe services. Our team is committed to providing the best care for your outdoor equipment. Call us today or text us for faster service at 509-371-1477. Visit us in West Richland and at libertylawnandsawshop.com.
Welcome to Chris's Recovery Shop.
Is your boat upholstery starting to look worn or has tears? From tops to seats to panels, we have you covered. Do you own a business and need repairs to seats or furniture? From agricultural to restaurant, we have you covered. Got a classic car that needs a little interior TLC? From seats to armrests and panels, we have you covered here too.
Chris's Recovery Shop in Yakima,
where we keep a good thing going.
You
love the internet. But do you love your internet? Is your bundle a bundle of joy? Do you celebrate your contract's anniversary? No? You should meet Ziply Fiber. High-speed fiber optic internet means more freedom, more reliability, more speed on all your family's devices, all at the same time. Happily ever faster. Ziply Fiber. Call 1-888-GO-ZIPLY or visit ziplyfiber.com/GoZiply. Plans as low as $10 a month.
Smoke City for Less. We are open 7 days a week with now 5 locations.
From Apple Valley News Now, First Alert Weather with Chief Meteorologist Josh Colbreth.
Welcome back to Good Morning Northwest. Let's take you on a little bit of a pass report for this morning. We're going to start off on Interstate 90 at Snoqualmie Pass. The road conditions here, it's looking like it's just a little wet out there. No chains required, but for the rest of these passes that I'm going to talk about, we do at the very least, WashDOT is saying that traction tires would be advised. For example, on US 12 at White Pass, as it is a little bit slushy here, you can definitely see the roadside snow for sure. And then for US 97 at Blewett Pass, starting to get a little bit more light here, and you can see the plows working on it, but it is snow packed in some locations. Traction tires also advised. And then for US 2 at Stevens Pass, it's also snow packed, and you guessed it, traction tires also advised here. So something to just be wary of if you're traveling up into Cascades this morning over some of those mountain passes. Now let's take it down to the areas below the mountains, in between the mountain ranges. As for this morning, by 8 this morning, temperatures are going to be in the 40s. Could maybe have a shower or two left over in the foothills, but we should be mostly dry by lunchtime. Plenty of sunshine, and then by 4 p.m. still plenty of sunshine. High temperatures today are going to stall out mostly in the 50s, which means it'll be seasonal. Yes, it's going to be blustery for this morning, but the winds will be calming throughout the day. We have a calm, nice little stretch from Wednesday through Friday, but for this weekend, shower chances go back up, and I'll tell you how much rainfall and how much snowfall we're expecting from said storm system, and that's going to be coming up in a few minutes.
Thank you, Josh. And it is Election Day. We'll be saying it all day long, and experts say this presidential race is neck and neck. Control of the House and Senate are also on the line. Amy Kiley looks at the biggest contest at the federal level.
The polls tell you it's the most razor close, complicated election in the 10 I've done. This is my 10th presidential election.
Election Day is here. Many analysts say polls indicate one of the closest presidential contests in modern history.
I'm with John. There is absolutely no way that I would even suggest who's going to win. We have no idea. It is that close.
But many experts also caution that polls can be wrong.
My take for people at home would be prepare for anything.
Much of the focus is on swing states. Here's Vice President Kamala Harris going door to door in Pennsylvania yesterday and rallying supporters there.
We're going to keep doing this work with the optimism that it requires to be strong.
And here's former President Donald Trump in the same state on the same day.
And I don't know if you know, but Kamala has a little rally going on. And when I say little, I mean little.
As for Congress, polls indicate Republicans could win a majority in the Senate. They show control of the House. Might be on a razor's edge, despite optimistic messages from both parties.
And we're going to win the House. That's right.
Hakeem Jeffries will be the Speaker of the House. I don't know what the margin will be, but I know that we have the votes to win the House.
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
And again, reminder, Apple Valley News Now is on your side with election coverage all day today. We'll have local coverage tonight before 6 p.m. until 11:30 p.m. And ABC News takes over at 4 p.m. with national coverage. For continuous updates, visit our website and download our app. And coming up next on Good Morning Northwest, the story continues with Mapleton Mayor Rachel Ruelas. She faces 2 recall petitions against her and has appealed both to the state Supreme Court. Emily Goodell with that exclusive update is next.
Poor maintenance, old tires, bad brakes, that could be why the big truck hit you. Hit by a big truck? I know how to beat their insurance companies. I'm attorney Mariano Morales, the big truck heavy hitter.
Call 853-2222.
I am ready to find the second great love of my life.
The Golden Bachelorette, sponsored locally by Legends Casino Hotel.
fun is how we roll.
ABC Election Night.
When we fight, we win! We will soon be a great nation again.
Who will be your next president? Election Night. This is where America turns for answers. ABC Election Night Live.
My family's been serving the Tri-Cities for 85 years at Griggs and the Tri-Cities Ace stores. And we have some deals we don't want you to miss. 11 different Stanley and Craftsman tools, your choice, only $5.99.
This popular Blackstone grill is $100 off at only $249.99.
20-pound bags of bird food on sale, 2 for $18.
And stock up on these C6 100 light Christmas lights, a steal at 50% off.
See all of the deals using this QR code. Come see us at Griggs and the Tri-Cities Ace stores. And thank you for your business.
Unlock beautiful skin with Curve Appeal's limited time special. For a short time only, enjoy any IPL, Resurfex, RF microneedling, or combo treatments. Buy one and get the next area 50% off. Treat yourself to smoother, glowing skin across your face, neck, chest, arms, or tummy. Restrictions apply. Both areas must be used in the same treatment time. Feel fabulous and look flawless. Ready to look as young as you feel? Book your appointment today with Curve Appeal.
Poor maintenance, old tires, bad brakes, that could be why the big truck hit you. Hit by a big truck? I know how to be their insurance companies. I'm attorney Mariano Morales, the big truck heavy hitter.
Call 853-2222.
Thank you for making Apple Valley News Now's Good Morning Northwest and ABC's Good Morning America the most watched morning news on local TV.
Thank you so much.
What's new, what's now, and what's next? Plus first alert weather every 10 minutes. Wake up with Apple Valley News Now.
On your side.
Live is like a warm hug.
They're imposing a 3-minute limit on hugs.
Too long.
Next live, Tony Goldwyn and Ted McGinley.
That was like, what, 4 seconds?
Today at 9 on Apple Valley News Now.
This newscast sponsored by Mariano Morales Law. From Apple Valley News Now, first alert weather with Chief Meteorologist Josh Colberth.
Have a few snow showers left over in the Cascades, also in the Blues, mostly above 2,500 to 3,000 feet. Let's show you what happens to this a little bit later in the day with Futurecast. We're going to put this into motion, and by the time we get to lunchtime, should be mostly dry out there. Could have a few sprinkles left over, but by 5 p.m., I'm thinking we should be completely dry. Sky should be clear at this point, and into the evening, temperatures are going to drop way down because the skies will be clear and the winds will be light. More on that in a second, but first, for today, it's going to be cool out there. We'll have seasonal highs that'll be in the 50s. Winds for this morning will gust out of the west and northwest between 20 to 40 miles per hour, but keep in mind that the winds are going to be calming throughout the day. And then for tonight, like I said, calm winds for tonight. That's the good news. But the bad news is that, man alive, it is going to be cold out there. Temperatures in the 20s and 30s. And where we do have 30s, it's right at 30 degrees, like in Walla Walla. So pretty much all of us are going to have to protect the outdoor pets, the plants, and the plumbing for tonight. Keep it pretty dry for Wednesday through Friday. Then we have a series of storm systems that we're going to have to deal with starting on Saturday. So we'll pay attention. We'll single out this Saturday and Sunday storm system. Preliminary estimates are that we could get 2 inches of water up in the Cascades, between 1/10 to 1/2 inch for the valleys and basin and for the foothills, but maybe upwards of 1 inch for the Blue. So this is all in all looking like it's going to be a slightly wetter storm system than the one we just dealt with. And of course, there will be a wintry element to it, as there is for pretty much all storm systems around this time of the year. Snow levels bouncing between 3,500 to 5,000 feet. That means we could get at least a few inches of snow up towards Snoqualmie Pass, probably less than 1 inch for Cabbage Hill, but that's where things stand as of now, and we'll get more model data throughout the rest of this week to help us tweak this forecast. High temperatures staying pretty seasonal over these next 7 days. Here's the 7-day forecast for the Tri-Cities. Dry and cool through Friday, then shower chances go back up starting on Saturday. In Yakima, a stretch of crisp and calm weather through Friday, but more wet weather looms this weekend. For Ellensburg, breezes calming through today, much calmer Wednesday through Friday, but our weather turns unsettled again by Saturday. For Hermiston, dry with highs in the 50s through Friday, staying cool but turning wet again this weekend. Then for Walla Walla, maybe a leftover shower for this morning, and our next substantial chance of rain is going to hold off until Saturday.
Thank you, Josh. In depth this morning, it's a story only Apple Valley News Now has been covering. Mabton Mayor Rachel Ruelas is facing 2 recall petitions against her. She has appealed both to the state Supreme Court. But Apple Valley News Now's Emily Goodell reports Ruelas hasn't followed up on her requests.
I spoke with Yakima County Auditor Charles Ross, who says the mayor appears to have missed key deadlines in the appeal process for the first recall petition against her.
There was supposed to be a whole nother section of documents coming from her that were never filed.
So instead of both sides testifying in front of the state Supreme Court, the court will make their decision based solely on the initial filings after a hearing December 5th.
They could consider the whole thing politically motivated and dismiss the entire process, I'm sure. More likely than not, they are looking to see if our local judges' decisions were within the color of the law. There are deadlines with the Supreme Court, and those deadlines came and went, and therefore, I strongly suspect they're going to dismiss the appeal and maintain Yakima County's ruling.
As for the second petition,
if it were to follow the same circumstance of events, it would probably end up in the same position.
If the state Supreme Court dismisses the appeal, the recall moves forward. Petitioners need roughly 60 signatures from Mabton voters, certified by the state auditor's office, which must get it on the ballot within 90 days.
We have a regular election cycle that comes in February, so highly likely if that's within the 90 days, we would do it that way.
If the recall fails, Ruelas stays in office. Her term is up at the end of 2025, but she told a Yakima County Superior Court judge last month she'd be running for re-election. If the recall succeeds, Ruelas will be removed from office.
Normally, a position like that, the council would appoint somebody to fill that position until the next qualified election for that community, which would, be the next primary general cycle.
Which would be fall of 2025, with the newly elected mayor taking office in January 2026. We'll keep you updated on what the state Supreme Court decides and what happens with the recall process moving forward. Reporting from the Yakima Newsroom, Emily Goodell, Apple Valley News Now.
Thank you, Emily. And coming up next on Good Morning Northwest, a Game of Thrones movie and more news on Wicked. It's just ahead of its release. It's all coming up in your entertainment headlines after the break.
Got a craving you can't shake for sizzling, juicy, mouth goes ah. Flavor only Taco Time can deliver? Grab your all-new grilled steak burrito and quesadilla for a limited time. Craving? Shook. When you know what you want, anytime is Taco Time.
Why do patients and families immediately think of Good Shepherd? They trust our knowledge and expertise. They value the compassionate care we provide. They feel like they are being taken care of by family. From our renowned doctors and top-of-the-line technology to our state-of-the-art facilities, Good Shepherd Healthcare System. Patients first, always.
Now's the time to get a great deal on taking care of your property. You need the #1 selling subcompact tractor in the U.S. so you can do it all and do it right. Z-Series mowers that deliver a quality cut and Sidekick utility vehicles where durability meets speed. Right now, bring home select Kubota equipment for 0% APR for up to 84 months.
Find a Kubota dealer near you at gokubota.com.
It's painfully obvious that Jared Sessler's 30% national sales tax will drive up prices. Prices will go up 30% on groceries, gas, bills, and even houses. Inflation is bad enough. Just imagine paying 30% more. Sessler supports a massive 30% tax increase on everything you buy. You can't afford Jared Sessler, Mr. 30%. National Interest Action is responsible for the content of this advertising.
ABC Election Night.
Are you ready to make your voices heard?
We will soon be a great nation again.
America, we are not going back.
We fight for the future.
Our country will be greater than ever before.
Who will be your next president?
When we fight, we win.
We will make America great again.
Election night, this is where America turns for answers. ABC Election Night Live.
Now available at Taco Time, it's 3 for $7.
For a limited time at Taco Time.
Just $7 gets you 3 small Mexi fries.
Or 2 crisp tacos and 1 crisp bean burrito.
Or 2 crisp bean burritos and...
You get the point. It's 3 for $7 at Taco Time.
The Kraken takes on Colorado, 5:30 tonight on MeTV.
Welcome back to Good Morning Northwest. In your entertainment news, we're looking at a Game of Thrones comeback.
Plus, Britney Spears is now a jewelry designer. So here's more on what's happening in Hollywood.
Power resides where men believe it resides.
Game of Thrones could be making a comeback in movie form. According to The Hollywood Reporter, Warner Brothers has been quietly developing a film based on George R.R. Martin's book series. Since the HBO show ended, it's inspired 2 prequel series, the hit House of the Dragon and A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms, due out next year.
Something has changed within me.
When the new Wicked film opens in theaters, you'll see one of its stars, Ariana Grande, credited under a different name, Ariana Grande Butera. Butera's her father's last name. On the podcast, The Streaming Service with Justin Hill, Ariana explained why.
No, that was my name when I went to see the show when I was 10 years old. Yeah. And it felt like a really lovely way of honoring that.
Baby, can't you say I'm calling?
She's been a pop star and a best-selling author. Now Britney Spears is a jewelry designer. She announced on Instagram that she's launching a new jewelry line called Be Tiny, featuring delicate, extremely different, one-of-a-kind pieces. And Kevin Jonas with a birthday today. He's 37. Chuck Severson, ABC News.
No. Josh, did you just ask me which Jonas brother that was?
No,
that's
that's Kevin
Kevin Jonas.
Kevin, yes.
Yep. I will educate you all on the Jonas Brothers. Big fan when I was a child.
Yeah. Okay.
Still am. Well, coming up next on Good Morning Northwest at 6:30, it's Election Day and ballots can be confusing. In Franklin County, voters have to decide if they want to approve Proposition Number 1. Monique Ledesma is going to break that down for us in the next half hour. Stay with us.
'Tis the season for a holiday shopping tradition. Custer's 29th annual Christmas Arts and Crafts Show this weekend at the Hapo Center in Pasco. Join us as 150 artisans from across the Northwest display and sell their fine art, handcrafts, and specialty foods. The variety and quality of work make this a must-see event. Single-day admission, only $8. Tickets on sale now at CusterShows.com. Get creative with your holiday shopping at Custer's Christmas Arts and Crafts Show this weekend at the Hapo Center in Pasco.
Nutcracker Magical Christmas Ballet celebrates the season with America's favorite holiday tradition. Gather your loved ones and be enchanted by an all-star international cast. Returning to the Capitol Theater November 18th and 19th. Tickets at nutcracker.com.
Alice's birthday is coming up. We're in this comfy room in Triple Play Hotel so we can make plans without her hearing.
So we need a huge cake, a giant salad, and a good-sized mariachi band. Hold on a second. Does it seem a little dark in here for 2 p.m.?
Sorry, guys. Where I'm from, they didn't do birthdays. It's very exciting.
Triple Play has fun attractions for everyone, including bowling, a ropes course, and many more, all attached to a cozy hotel.
It's our favorite time of the year at Legends Casino Hotel because we're giving away holiday Hondas and gift boxes of cash. Use your Legends Rewards card all November long for your chance to win a $2, $4, $6, or $10,000 gift box every Thursday. And a new 2024 Honda Accord on November 21st. This ain't no turkey. Well, we are giving away turkeys too this month, but that's a separate promotion and shouldn't be confused with winning a new Honda Accord. Only at Legends Casino Hotel.
18 years, 32 years, 20 years, 35 years.
A job not only supports a family, but it gives you dignity. I'm Maria Beltran. With warehouses closing and hundreds of jobs lost, it's time we elect a fighter. Like so many of us, my family struggles to keep up with the cost of groceries and afford rent. Your family's struggles are my family's struggles. I'll work hard for you in Olympia.
Paid for by friends Maria Beltran.
Too busy being busy? Then it's about time you got lazy.
real lazy, and shop the brands that invented truly comfortable furniture. So kick your feet up, because Lazy Boy is now at Furniture Row. Browse and drowse in our collection of stylish and customizable recliners and sofas, and experience the durability and relaxation you've come to expect from Lazy Boy. Plus, unwind guilt-free with special no-interest financing. Here's to doing less in some well-deserved comfort with the Lazy Boy collection, now at Furniture Row.
I am ready to find the second great love of my life.
The Golden Bachelorette, sponsored locally by Legends Casino Hotel. Fun is how we roll.
The sad story of Buck the Chip. Apple Valley News Now, Thursday at 6. This is Apple Valley News Now. Good morning, Northwest, on your side.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us for Good Morning Northwest. I'm Jessica Jalal.
And I'm Josh Colbert.
All right, Josh, it is election day. I was dropping my ballot off yesterday, and it was so windy, it almost flew out of my hand. Yeah, almost, but it didn't. So be careful today. Are we going to see those winds today?
That's a win for democracy, and it's a win for you as well.
Exactly.
And we are going to see some winds for this morning, but as we head into the afternoon, the wind should be a lot calmer, thank goodness. Right now, we're going to take a live look at Yakima, this view coming courtesy of Bi-Mart. I've been watching this view very closely all morning to see if the camera is shaking at all. Looks like it really hasn't done that thus far, but we do know that there are some breezes this morning in the Yakima Valley, and we'll touch on that in a second. First, temperatures for this morning are cold as we're in the 30s and we're in the 40s, but you factor in some of the wind gusts, and yeah, it feels even colder than that out there as we're seeing winds gusting upwards of 15 to 30 miles per hour right now within the valleys, and it's gusting between 15 to 25 miles per hour in the basin and in the foothills. So, of course, grab a jacket, maybe heavy jacket as you're walking out the front door. And also, we do have these little snow showers that are left over in the Blue Mountains, also up in the Cascades, mostly above 2,500 to 3,000 feet. So for today, we're going to be drying out. It's going to be a mostly sunny day. It's going to be a cool day. So I'll take you on a zone-by-zone tour of today's forecast. And also, I'll show you, I'll have a look back at yesterday, and I'll show you what that storm system did to our rainfall deficit. So that's going to be coming up in a few minutes.
Thank you, Josh. In your election coverage, candidate races and initiatives are something voters across the region have to decide on, but there are also propositions and bonds. Apple Valley News Now's Monique Ledesma reports what these measures mean if passed from this general election.
In Franklin County, voters will have to decide if they want to approve Proposition Number 1. This proposition is a 0.2% Franklin County-only sales tax increase to upgrade Franklin County's emergency communications for 3 years. Then after that, it would go down to 0.1%. Franklin County Fire District 3 Fire Chief Mike Harris says that they currently use a VHF radio system and it's outdated.
And we rely on the current system we have in place, which is the aging system. And the radio technicians have told us that it's aging. There's no parts for it. And really what we're looking at is it could fail at any time. If it fails when we're on the scene of a major emergency, then we would lose all communications.
Harris says this proposition is more than upgrading their communication radios. It's about continuing to serve the same high level of service to the community. In school bonds, the Richland School District is asking voters to consider passing a bond up for vote in this election. The cost, $314 million. The district says the biggest part of that includes a new high school set to be built in West Richland if passed. RC says it has not built a comprehensive high school since Hanford in the 1970s. RC also says that high schools are overflowing and this new school will have an emphasis in CTE. There are also some smaller projects the bond has. You can find that information on our Apple Valley News Now website at www.applevalleynewsnow.com. The College Place Police Department is looking to upgrade its facility with the help of a bond that voters are set to make a decision on as well. The police department says it's more than just cosmetic changes or a morale boost needed at the police department. The department says they're in desperate need of a different facility as it is not ADA compliant. The new location, if passed, would be built next to College Place Middle School and High School. It would also allow them to move into the 19,000 square feet facility as soon as November of 2026. Currently, 17 police officers are employed within the 4,000 square foot department. Reporting in Kennewick, Monique Ledesma, Apple Valley News Now.
Thank you, Monique. And drop boxes are located throughout each county and at the election offices located at the Walla Walla County Courthouse. That's 315 West Main Street, and at the Columbia County Courthouse, 341 East Main Street in Dayton. And to have your vote counted, your ballot must be in the drop box by 8 p.m. today. Now, in more election need-to-knows, every year there are ballots that don't get counted due to issues with signatures that can be easily solved with the voters' help. Now, if you don't sign your ballot, if your signature doesn't match the one on your driver's license, or if you don't include both pages of the ballot, your ballot could be rejected. Now, if your ballot is in question, the auditor's office will send you a letter or contact you at the phone number listed on your ballot to help resolve the issue. And the auditor says every vote counts, but especially in local races.
Local county commissioner elections have been very close in the past, mainly because it's a Republican versus a Republican. So we're seeing, we had to do a recount, and some of those elections have been decided by less than 20 votes.
And you can also check your ballot status for yourself at votewa.gov. Now, there is a social media post we have to tell you about and let you know that if you see this, it is a false claim. It deals with your ballot, and the post says if you get your ballot and there's a dot on one of the boxes, that means even if you didn't vote for that candidate, your ballot will be rejected and determined to be invalid. Now, this is not true. Apple Valley News Now spoke with Benton County Auditor Brenda Chilton and Yakima County Auditor Charles Ross. And Ross says the dot isn't big enough to register as a vote. And Chilton adds that the opening boards inspect every ballot, and if it appears there are marks in more than one selection box, it would be inspected closer to ensure the vote is counted as the voter intended. And Apple Valley News Now is on your side because we're your #1 source for Your Voice, Your Vote 2024 coverage. ABC News will take over at 4 p.m. today with national coverage, and we'll provide local updates from just before 6 p.m. until 11:30 p.m. And we'll have a full 30 minutes worth of local coverage from 8 to 8:30 live and also 11 to 11:30 live. And of course, for continuous updates, head to our website or download our app, applevalleyNewsNow.com. Now, to a follow-up, the painting and restoration of the Blue Bridge is just a couple of months from being finished. WashDOT is anticipating the top half of the bridge, known as the truss section, will be done by the end of November. And the agency also says the bottom half, blasting and painting, have been completed. Officials say this project is more than just about making the Blue Bridge blue again. It's also about keeping the bridge strong. And WashDOT says even though the renovation part is set to be done by November, if weather allows, workers still have to tear down the safety features that were installed for construction workers and drivers, and this will lead to the Blue Bridge being fully back open mid-January. Now, in some education news, congratulations are in order for the Wapato School Board of Directors for earning the State Board of Distinction recognition. And this is from the Washington State School Directors Association as a medium-sized district. The annual WSSDA Boards of Distinction program honors school boards that demonstrate effective use of the Washington School Board standards. And the standards promote research-based governance practices that lead to high levels of student and district achievement and help close the opportunity gap. Up next on Good Morning Northwest, Apple Valley News Now is your home to the Seattle Kraken, and we have which game you need to keep an eye on for this week. Dan Hansen with that story is next.
Hello there, watch live with Kelly and Mark.
Weekday mornings at 9 on Apple Valley News Now.
While I'm waiting for the shredding truck to arrive, I thought I would show you some of the work I've done over the years, protecting the rights of innocent accident victims and the public safety in general. If quantity is any indication of valuable experience, I'm sure I'm at the top of the heap.
Maria Cantwell knows prices are too high and we have to fight back. That's why she passed a law to take on big oil traders spiking gas prices. And why she's fighting grocery store mergers that would lead to higher food prices. Cantwell also took on drug companies and won, capping insulin for seniors at $35 a month and capping seniors' out-of-pocket expenses.
I'm Maria Cantwell, and I approve this message because I'll take on anyone to protect Northwest consumers.
Save now with Cascade Farm and Outdoors latest mailer. Watch for it in your mailbox or pick up a copy in store. Buy one, get one 50% off on all area jeans. Purina Laina 40-pound crumble or pellet feed is just $14.99. Dickies hooded flannel shirt jackets are $15 off. Save $20 on a Coleman 5-pound sleeping bag. Plus, all dog and cat canned food is 20% off. Store-wide savings are going on now at Cascade Farm and Outdoor.
Prices are higher, plants closed, jobs lost, and Curtis King has made it worse, voting against more affordable housing, against lower cost prescription drugs. King is a multimillionaire career politician in office for 17 years. He's not for us. We're working hard. We deserve a state senator who does too. That's Maria Beltran. Maria's from here. She's worked in the orchards. She knows us. And Maria Beltran has a plan for lower costs, for affordable housing, for more opportunities. Maria Beltran, she's for us.
This holiday season, believe in the magic of the North Pole. As you set sail for a holiday adventure like no other, marvel over the stunning light display along the magical journey to meet Santa. Experience the magic that only happens on Lake Coeur d'Alene. Even the Grinch can't resist the holiday cheer. Book during Santa's sneak peek week and enjoy 25% off tickets from November 15th to November 27th and discover the magic of the holiday season.
Besides the suffering being in an accident can cause, there are several business decisions that need to be made. Are you happy with the insurance company's performance? Could they be doing more? Get some answers. Ellen Brecky Law Offices emphasizes the rights of accident victims.
ABC Election Night.
When we fight, we win!
We will soon be a great nation again.
Who will be your next president? Election Night. This is where America turns for answers. ABC Election Night Live.
I'm trying to guard her from a 200-pound ape.
The sad tale of Buck the chimp.
First responders should never have to deal with dangerous wild animals in private homes.
Chimpanzee Crazy. Apple Valley News Now at 6 Thursday. From Apple Valley News Now, First Alert Weather with Chief Meteorologist Josh Colberth.
Welcome back to Good Morning Northwest. Let's take you on a tour of today's forecast. We're going to start off in Kittitas County. Our high temperatures today are going to be in the 40s and 50s. The winds will be very blustery for this morning, maybe gusting upwards of 40 miles per hour. After lunchtime, the wind gusts should calm down. Then in the Yakima Valley, we'll have winds gusting out of the north and west upwards of 20 miles per hour. Also during the morning, these highs will end up in the mid-50s. Plenty of sunshine for today, especially into this afternoon. Then in the lower Columbia Basin, we'll also have plenty of sunshine. The winds here gusting out of the west and northwest. These winds gusting upwards of 20 miles per hour during the AM, not so much during the PM. And then in the foothills of the Blues, we'll have highs in the 40s and 50s, a little bit cooler up in some of the higher terrain. Meacham, Ukiah stuck in the 30s and 40s. And keep in mind that in the Blue Mountains, we do have that winter weather advisory in place until 4 p.m. this afternoon. That's for elevations above 4,500 feet. And then for the Cascades, I forgot to mention that one, but there's also a winter weather advisory in place there above 4,000 feet. That runs until 10 for this morning. Okay, let's take a look back at yesterday in terms of the rainfall deficit that we had going into the storm system and then the rainfall deficit that the storm system left us with. So we saw about 5 to 10% improvements in the Kittitas Valley, in portions of the lower Columbia Basin, and in the Blue Foothills, but not much improvements at all in Yakima or in the Tri-Cities. However, there's another storm system into Saturday and Sunday. That one's looking pretty wet. These numbers will improve, and I'll tell you how much they can improve by coming up in a few minutes.
The Kraken Game of the Week, sponsored by Yakima Federal.
And the only positive spot for the Kraken in the last 3 games was defenseman Brandon Montour's hat trick. Apple Valley News Now's Dan Hansen says this week's game of the week is against the Colorado Avalanche, and they're looking to flip the script.
Apple Valley News Now is your home to the Seattle Kraken. The Kraken had a memorable game last week against the Montreal Canadiens, scoring 8 goals in the win. That, however, was all the goals the Kraken scored in the next 3 games, losing their next 2 games to the Toronto Maple Leafs and Boston Bruins consecutively. The Kraken looked to change things up. The boys in Seattle eliminated the Colorado Avalanche in the first round of the playoffs in just their 2nd year in the league. The Avs were coming off the Stanley Cup in the previous year and had their eyes set on repeating. Now, I'm not living in Colorado, but I imagine that didn't sit well with the team or the fans. Fast forward to this year. It's still early in the season. The team's records are almost a mirror image of each other, with Seattle holding the edge in point standings with 11 to Colorado's 10. Both teams have lost their last 3 games. Colorado took the first game of the year in Seattle with a 3-2 win. Kraken captain Jordan Eberle has 20 goals and 18 career assists against the Avs and leads the team with 6 goals this season and is looking to add to that total. Seattle and Colorado faced off Wednesday at Ball Arena in Denver, and you can catch that game on MeTV beginning at 5:30. Dan Hansen, Apple Valley News Now.
Thank you, Dan. And coming up next on Good Morning Northwest, Elon Musk has been handing out money to people in swing states, people who would agree to represent his super PAC, which supports Donald Trump. Now, people opposed say this was illegal. We have the details coming up in your morning sprint, but first, Chief Meteorologist Josh Colbreth will have your full weather forecast.
You love the internet. But do you love your internet? Do frozen screens make your heart melt? Do buffering wheels give you butterflies? Didn't think so. You should meet Ziply Fiber. It's faster, it's friendlier, it's fiber. Ziply is fiber optic internet. That means no lag and no buffering. Gotta love it. Ziply Fiber. Call 1-888-GO-ZIPLY or visit ziplyfiber.com/GoZiply. Plans as low as $10 a month.
Too many politicians are too busy fighting each other. But I just want to get things done to make people's lives better. I'm Maria Cantwell. I led a bipartisan initiative to bring computer chip manufacturing and other supply chains back to America, generating billions in private sector investment to make the chips that run our cars, our appliances, and even our farm equipment, creating jobs, boosting our competitiveness, and lowering costs. It's beginning to work. That's why I approve this message.
From Apple Valley News Now, this is Medically Speaking.
Atomic Health pays me to do the in-home, I guess nursing or the things I do to help out, so we don't need a nurse. Meds, cooking, cleaning, getting him to doctor's appointments, picking up prescriptions, whatever else needs to be done. So at least once a month or whenever I need her, Sarah, or whatever nurse is available, comes to our house. If I have a worry that I'm not sure if he needs to go to the doctor, she comes and advises me and does an assessment and tells me if there's anything I need to do different, or I don't know that I could do this without him.
So we'll definitely evaluate their past employment. As a registered nurse myself, I'll look through their medical records and I'll look to see maybe what medical conditions they have, and we'll be very upfront with them, honest about whether they do have a claim that could warrant benefits or not.
Liberal Democrats Maria Beltran, Anna Kennedy, and Chelsea Demas support even no questions asked late-term abortions. They oppose measures that would lower taxes, make gas cheaper, and let you take home more of your paycheck. They would make your streets less safe, raise your gas prices, and encourage your children to disrespect faith, family, and America. Seattle liberals Maria Beltran, Anna Kennedy, and Chelsea Demas do not share your values and are too extreme for Central Washington.
An official message from Medicare.
Medicare plans change from one year to the next. And this year, it's important for you to review your current coverage and compare all your options during Medicare open enrollment. Compare health plans. Compare drug coverage. Compare costs. See if you can save. And make sure your drugs are covered. Open enrollment ends December 7th. Compare plans now at Medicare.gov.
Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
The Kraken takes on Colorado, 5:30 tonight on MeTV. From Apple Valley News Now, First Alert Weather with Chief Meteorologist Josh Colbreth.
Welcome back to Good Morning Northwest. Right now you're taking a live look at First Alert radar. We're seeing just a few snow showers up in the Blues, also up in the Cascades and elevations above 2,500 to 3,000 feet. And we'll show you what happens to this for the rest of today with Futurecasts as we put this into motion. You can see by lunchtime, not much doing on the map. It's going to be the same thing at 5 p.m. Just maybe a few showers up in the Cascades and the Blues, maybe in the foothills, but that's about it. Today's going to be much drier, much sunnier, and a lot less windy as opposed to yesterday. So for today, speaking of the winds, they'll gust out of the west and northwest between 20 to 40 miles per hour for this morning, but throughout the day, winds should be calming. High temperatures will be seasonal, most of us in the 50s. And again, it should be a pretty dry day for most spots, especially in between the mountain ranges. And then for tonight, folks, it is going to be pretty cold out there. That's an understatement, as we'll have overnight lows in the 20s and 30s. And where we are in the 30s, it's right at 30 degrees. It's going to be right at 30 in Walla Walla. All that to say, I'm thinking that most spots will probably have to protect the outdoor pets, the plants, and the plumbing for tonight. But the good news is that the winds will be calm, so there's not going to be a wind chill. Thank goodness. We'll be dry, and we'll have some pretty nice weather from Wednesday through Friday. But then we're tracking this next storm system, really a series of storm systems starting on Saturday. So first, we're going to single out the storm system for Saturday and Sunday. This one's looking like it's going to be pretty comparable to the one we had yesterday, if not a little bit wetter, as we could get 2 inches of water up in the Cascades, maybe an inch in the Blues, and between a tenth to a half an inch for the valleys, basin, and foothills. Snow levels are going to bounce between 3,500 to 5,000 feet for said storm system, so we could get a couple to a few inches of snow for Snoqualmie Pass, probably less than an inch for Cabbage Hill. This is very early in the ball game. This is definitely subject to change. High temperatures staying pretty seasonal over the next 7 days. Nothing to write home about. Here's the 7-day forecast for the Tri-Cities, more like the dry cities, as we'll be dry and cool through Friday, but then shower chances go back up starting on Saturday. In Yakima, a stretch of crisp and calm weather through Friday, but more wet weather looms this weekend. For Ellensburg, breezes calming through today, much calmer Wednesday through Friday, but our weather turns unsettled again by Saturday. And for Hermiston, dry with highs in the 50s through Friday, staying cool but turning wet again this weekend. Then for Walla Walla, maybe a shower left over this morning, but our next substantial chance of rain is going to hold off until Saturday. Now let's head out to New York City to see what's ahead on Good Morning America.
In this morning GMA First Look, keeping Election Day safe. From law enforcement stationed at the polls to the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department providing chopper service to transport ballots. Officials everywhere not taking any chances.
We can't predict necessarily anything, but we are prepared and we will take those necessary actions to ensure the safety and security of the employees involved in this and to ensure the safety and security of democracy.
In Battleground, Michigan, the Secretary of State telling the public to be on guard for a barrage of misinformation online.
Question everything you see on social media. Don't assume anything that you're seeing from a source other than a trusted voice or election official.
And coming up at 7 a.m., Good Morning America and the ABC News political team are live from across the country, covering every angle as Americans take to the polls. With your GMA First Look, I'm Pierre Thomas, ABC News, New York.
Type 2 diabetes? Discover the Ozempic Trizone. I got the power of 3. I lowered my A1C, CV risk, and lost some weight.
In studies, the majority of people reached an A1C under 7 and maintained it.
I'm under 7.
Ozempic lowers the risk of major cardiovascular events such as stroke, heart attack, or death in adults also with known heart disease.
I'm lowering my risk.
Adults lost up to 14 pounds.
I lost some weight.
Ozempic isn't for people with type 1 diabetes. Don't share needles or pens or reuse needles. Don't take Ozempic if you or your family ever had medullary thyroid cancer or have multiple endocrine neoplasia syndrome type 2 or if allergic to it. Stop Ozempic and get medical help right away if you get a lump or swelling in your neck, severe stomach pain, or an allergic reaction. Serious side effects may include pancreatitis. Gallbladder problems may occur. Tell your provider about vision problems or changes. Taking Ozempic with a sulfonylurea or insulin may increase low blood sugar risk. Side effects like nausea, vomiting, and diarrhea may lead to dehydration, which may worsen kidney problems. Living with type 2 diabetes?
That's about the power of 3 with Ozempic.
Now, the morning sprint.
Time is now 6:53. It's time for your 6 o'clock morning sprint. We're going to start off in your national headlines. The Boeing strike is over. 59% of striking workers voted to accept the company's most recent offer. The deal includes an immediate raise of 13% and a pay raise of more than 43% over the 4-year contract. They also get a ratification bonus of $12,000. Many analysts are calling this presidential election one of the closest presidential races in modern history. However, many also caution that polls can be wrong. A lot of the focus is on the swing states. As for Congress, polls indicate Republicans could win a majority in the Senate. They show control of the House might be very close. Elon Musk's daily $1 million giveaway sweepstakes is allowed to proceed. The billionaire has been handing out money to people in swing states, those who would agree to represent his super PAC, which supports Donald Trump. Prosecutors in Philadelphia argued this was illegal in violation of state law. However, yesterday, the judge denied the request to stop the sweepstakes. And according to Musk's PAC team, this was not a random drawing, as recipients were vetted ahead of time to feel out their personality and make sure they were someone whose values aligned with the group. Now we go to your top 5 local stories that you need to know this morning. First up, Walla Walla police are asking for the public's help with a stabbing investigation. It happened last Thursday at the 700 block of Woodlawn Street. They found a 31-year-old man who says he was attacked in his home and stabbed several times. Contact Walla Walla police if you know anything. And a professional fighter from Richland is on the run. Police say Brian Caraway failed to appear for his pretrial hearing in Benton County Superior Court. He's facing several felony charges. If you see him, call police. Now, the city of Pasco is actively working on improving road safety this week, and it will impact traffic. Nighttime closures on eastbound I-182 will happen today and Thursday, and paving work on Court Street near Road 68 started yesterday. BFT is offering free rides on its fixed route bus and dial-a-ride services today, and the goal is to make it easier for people to vote. Free services are available all day, and while voting is encouraged, it's not required to use the free rides. BFT says dial-a-ride customers should schedule their trips as they normally would. And we are on your side with election coverage. ABC News is taking over at 4 p.m. today with national coverage, but we'll have local updates just before 6 p.m. until 11:30 p.m. And we'll have live coverage from 8 to 8:30 and 11 to 11:30. And for continuous updates, head to our website or download our app. All right, check this out now. It's an election that everybody can get behind. Oreos or Chips Ahoy?
Well, that's the question on the ballot for students at one California elementary school. In an effort to teach the third graders about democracy and the voting process, students at the school will have a cookie election today.
How cute. So students will choose between Chips Ahoy and Oreo cookies, and they'll cast their ballots in a voting booth to get the full experience.
A total of 45 students will take part in the mock election.
All right, Josh, what are you choosing? Chips Ahoy or Oreos?
See, there's a caveat because, like, can I dip the cookie in milk?
I think you could do whatever with the cookies. I'm going with Oreos.
I'm going to go
Classic.
with Oreos.
Okay,
I think independents are going to split and break for Oreos.
Oh boy. Oh.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of people voting today, how's the weather looking?
It's looking cold. It's looking a little windy for this morning, so just hold on to your ballot.
Hold on to your ballot so it doesn't fly away, because that almost happened to me.
But thankfully, the winds will be calming throughout the day. So we'll go ahead and take a look at temperatures right now. Yeah, it's in the 30s and 40s. Well, that's not that cold, right? Well, you factor in some of these wind gusts, and all of a sudden, it becomes a little bit colder outside. So definitely bundle up as you're headed out the front door, headed to the ballot box. And you can see we have some snow showers up in the Cascades and in the Blues, but those are mostly about 2,500 to 3,000 feet. Pretty light stuff. Today is going to be mostly dry. It's going to be cool. Winds will be calming throughout the day. So just a fall day. What else can you say about it?
It sounds like a good day. And thank you guys for watching Good Morning Northwest. You can always find the latest updates on our website, applevalley.newsnow.com.
Good Morning America is up next, and we'll be back with your local news and weather tonight. Have a good one.